put on some of this because I have a big ingrown hair going on down here, and then I got blackheads on my nose. So I figured try this because this is supposed to be good for blackheads. So it's good for like oily, pulling oil out of the skin. Maybe it'll help with the stuff going on. And I got one to eat, and yeah. Fortunately, I opened the wrong can of beans. These are chili beans, and I was wanting baked beans. Whatever. I got my little fan beside me with some ice in front of it. I mean, it's not like doing much, but worth a shot. I had the idea. I'm sure we've all thought about that. Like, oh, I would just take a fan and put it in front of some ice, or put some ice in front of it, and that would be like an air conditioner. I mean, it's all right. Like, it's cool for sure. Once the ice melts, I'm gonna use it to wash my face off. I did this face mask one time before, but I don't think I let it set long enough. Because like on the ads, it always shows that like your blackheads are like super visible once it dries. Well, we were gonna go out to eat, so I wasn't gonna wait too much longer. But I just put it on for a little bit. Like I put it on pretty thick, and I left it on for like the minimum recommended amount of time. So it made my skin feel a lot better, a lot cleaner, and less oily. I got some more seeds up on my dash from an organic pepper. I'm not even sure if you're able to see that or not, but from an organic pepper that I had bought. I bought two actually, a red one and a yellow one, and I put some of the seeds up there on the dash. And I took the rest of the seeds, because you know how they're like together in that little ball. So I took the rest of the seeds and threw it out in what looked to be an abandoned baseball park, children's baseball park, but it was clearly abandoned and overgrown with weeds. Except it was a spot with a bunch of weeds. For breakfast, I have Raisin Bran, which has iron in it, which is good. I'm not really that good at taking my supplements. So I need to start taking them. What I am good about, I keep them in a cooler with ice, so they stay good. I'm not gonna let them ruin. I'm glad I found those lids. These, because I need them. Like I said, my jars of water, the lids have started to rust. Which I didn't know that. I figured that canning lids wouldn't rust because they're like meant to last for a really long time. But I guess the fact that I was opening and closing them and replacing the water in them might have been why it caused it to rust. So I got these These were like $7 a piece, like $7 for a 6-pack. I have 12 jars, so I got 2 of them. I mean, it's whatever. It's necessary for me to have water. So that's like the only water I'll drink is hot springs water. Every now and then I'll drink other water and stuff. I'll get different drinks like this. I've decided to completely quit like sodas, like even like healthy sodas if they have like citric acid in them. No. Which I need to tell my boyfriend about that because he buys stuff for me and keeps it at his house. So I always have stuff when I come over. And I used to drink the stevia sodas. So I need to tell him that I quit drinking those because they have citric acid, which is black mold. I like coming to Bass Pro Shop. For one, I can nab a little bit of shade, at least. But also, there's a lot of wildlife. There's a lot of birds, all kinds of stuff running around. Even though we're in the middle of the city, we do a good job of keeping trees and stuff like that. I don't know if I told you guys about my acorn collection. So like an acorn collection, and I have it's in the my seat has like a little. It's like So in between the seats, there's the console, and then for the back seat passengers, there's the air conditioning vents, and then there's a little like hole thing for just like storage. It's not a cup holder, but it's just like a little hole that like you can put your phone or something in. And so I've been putting acorns in there, and then on my side door over here in the little thing at the bottom, I keep gumballs. Yeah. You ever think about how like history repeats itself? And that's what we know. Like we've heard that a million times, right? History repeats itself. We think we know what that means, but like I've been thinking recently about how like what if civilization used to be great or like far beyond what we are today? Maybe maybe they had technology, maybe they didn't. But like what if they knew about like genetics and the earth and nature and planting things? And what if that's why, like, how they're like foods that are shaped like that, a certain organ, are actually like really good for that organ usually? Like, what's the nut that kind of looks like a brain? It's really good for your brain. Kidney beans kind of look like kidneys. They're good for your kidneys. There's a million examples you can find on the internet of this. What if like that was intentional? What if that was like humans that selected certain like plants and they got it to where it was like the plant is not only does it like look like the organ, but it's good for the organ it looks like, and it was like intentional. Like what if they did that on purpose? Because like how would they tell us? Like what if they didn't have written language or something like that? Like, but they were intelligent. I think we think of like, oh, humans became intelligent at some point, and then they started writing, and then we just became more and more intelligent, and now we have technology, and this is like the peak. But what if that's not true? What if they were like intelligent, but just so happened to not have written language, or maybe they did, but it like got destroyed somehow. You know, like, because history repeats itself. So like, what if we're just a different version of what we've been before? I would think, we're probably a more evil version because we're like constantly at war and poisoning the earth and our air and water and food and just destroying people and animals in the earth. But what if we used to like take care of the earth and be like good stewards of the earth? I mean, that's kind of silly to like think like, oh, what if? But like, yeah, obviously, like the Native Americans, the people who are indigenous, they recognize that being a steward of the earth is important, and that they have all these things that have been passed down to them, and a lot gets lost over time. What have we lost? What did we used to know? Like, we probably used to know that the trees bring rain, and what trees to plant and what to plant where, and how to make medicine out of just plants and not all this synthetic bullshit that makes you more sick. And it's bizarre that everything these days is about money. Money isn't even real, it's paper. It's, and like, at one point money was kind of real because it was based on gold, but it isn't even that anymore. There's more money than there is gold. It isn't real at all. The Fed can just print more, and they do. They just print more. Prices are all fake. You can go to one place and something will be $20, and you can go to another place and it'll be $1. The only thing that's real is humans and labor and life and death and being sick. And we take this stuff that isn't real and use it as justification to destroy lives, to destroy ecosystems, to make people sick, to make more money. It's imaginary. It's all something that we've agreed on, but it's fake. Yep, and it's messed up that we can't even base it on anything that matters. Like, you can make money doing things that hurt people, but then it costs money to help people. And so you have this dynamic of there's all these struggling people, children, that are in need of help, but it's just not affordable. We can't afford it. We can't afford to feed them. We can't afford to save them from human trafficking. We can't afford to take them out of, abusive situations. But we can afford to do all this insane shit that destroys the environment. None of it's based on logic. None of it's based on what's good for humans. It's just this stupid game that we've all decided to play. And if we all just decided to quit playing the money game, things would be a lot better. And that's the hard part. Because as an individual, you can't just say, oh, well, I'm not going to do that shit anymore. Money's stupid. Forget it. Because then you're going to starve to death. And you're going to go without medication. And you're going to be dying alone on the street. But if we all do it as a society and decide either we're not going to do money at all anymore, or we're going to base money on what's right. So you make money by helping people. You make money by doing what's right, by saving the environment. And you lose money by doing stuff that hurts people or hurts the environment. That would hold a company much more responsible instead of them trying to take shortcuts or not being able to afford to improve their infrastructure to be able to safely carry toxic chemicals that we don't even need. There's natural alternatives that we could use. We don't need latex. We don't need fucking any of this shit. We don't need gasoline. We can have cars running off of water, you know, and we know this. So if you think I'm crazy, like you're unaware. Is unfortunately what it is. You've been brainwashed into thinking, oh, we need oil, we need this, we need that. We don't need it. It's just somebody's convinced you that you need it, so you'll buy it and give them money. It's funny I'm going on this rant and I have this like half a face mask on. It's been about 15 minutes. I don't know if there's any like noticeable difference. Oh, I kind of see stuff coming out. But like, why does it cost more to get something that's organic? And what even is organic mean? That's just a marketing term. Why is everything poison and why are we okay with that? And it's insane. You know, if someone tries to like speak up against it, then people say, "Oh, you're crazy. That's just the way things are. It's fine. You're fine. Nothing's wrong with it. That's just how it is." It isn't fine. You know, just because it's normal doesn't mean it's okay. But why are these things normal? Silent Hill came out how long ago? I don't actually remember, but a long time ago. And we still haven't done anything about that. We're still like, should we ban glyphosate? Like, we think Roundup is bad. I mean, like, we have all of these studies proving that it's linked to cancer. But, like, is it really that bad? We should just, like, keep using it on our food because it's not that much. We're going to set a limit on how much it can be. And even though having it in your system, eating it every day, every single thing you buy, is obviously bad for you, we're going to set a limit on how much there can be, and we're going to claim that's safe. Is it safe? I don't know. I mean, obviously it doesn't, but what are we to do about it? Just not eat, because there really is no other options. I mean, even if you get organic, you're still buying stuff that's been used, chemicals and pesticides and stuff. I mean, the best thing I've come up with is to go to Whole Foods because they seem to have pretty good standards, but I'm sure they're flawed. I want to have land. I want to own land. Isn't that insane that people can own land? Or that people cannot own land? Like, that's insane. Like, why can't I just, like, go out into the world and just plant stuff and do what I want to do? Like, that, like, why? Like, why do people own land? Like, why? Like, that's so crazy. I understand having territories. I understand that, but like to own the land, like I don't know. To be like, well, I own this land, so I'm gonna tear it all up and put a parking lot on it and put like a store on it and make money selling people poison. I walk around. Sorry to plug my phone in. I walk around like grocery stores and stuff, and I think like this is so unnatural. Like, you know, we're imitating what's natural, right? Like, we're trying to make it make sense, like by organizing everything in a way that's logical. but it should be a forest. You know, like I should be able to like walk into the forest and know, like, oh, you know, if I see this plant, then this plant's going to be next to it because they have a good symbiotic relationship, and everybody knows that. So obviously, they would plant those two things together. And, you know, if I see these berries, then I know that these berries are going to be nearby. Or if I see this tree, then I know that these plants are going to be nearby. As opposed to like going into a store knowing like, oh, if I see the apples, I know the oranges are going to be right there because it's like the fruit section, and it's all just arbitrary bullshit that we've all agreed upon. And we have these organizational skills, but we don't use them. We use them in this like fake simulation bullshit of like, oh, get in your car and drive to the store and go to the store and get your food, buy your food. You know, it's covered in poison. And in the natural world, like that's not how it's supposed to work. We're not supposed to be doing any of this. We're supposed to be like in the forest planting shit and making medicine and shit and like living our natural lives. Like, how long could a human live if they never had poison? Right? We don't know that. We don't know that because we've been poisoning each other for so long. We have no clue how long a person could live if they've never been exposed to arsenic or lead or glyphosate or any of that shit. All the pollution that's in the air. What if the air had more oxygen in it because it wasn't so polluted? How much smarter would we be? How much happier would we be? How much less depression would we have? How much better lives we would live? But I have to make money so I can buy land so I can go back to that. It's insane. Yeah, no, literally I have to go so I can work. See ya.